Hey everyone, we're about to start the show. Hi, and welcome to the Digital Design Show, where I take on a project and do it digitally. So today's project is to do a stage for what I can dance upon in the Doll Dancer app. Now, the Doll Dancer app is a great little tool where you can download your model from VRoy Hub and have it dance to any basically movement provided by a VMD or a VRoy motion data. So you can use these to create similar dances that you see on Miku Miku Dance. Now, the stage that I want to do is actually tied to the song My Showtime, of which I've been experimenting with. My Showtime is a song and dance that comes from the Aikatsu franchise. So I want to do a stage that's inspired by that song. But it won't be exactly the same as what's presented in the anime. Let's get on with the process. So, the stage I'm calling as the gear, neon gear stage, because it seems to have all these gears outlined in neon colors. Now, I discovered that you need a sort of panoramic view for what's known as the skybox in the Doll Dancer app. This is basically the background. And I'm going through basically playing out the background. I do know that I want a darker top, so when it curves up and joins together at the top, it will be quite dark, in order to allow the neon lights to really shine, like I did for my Kita outfit. Now I'm bringing in a screen cap that I took of the actual anime in order to figure out the best placement of stuff. So I'm just bringing it up into screen in my Affinity photo. And let's see. Definitely from this point of view, it looks like I need a bunch of different gears. Hence what I'm going to be calling this stage is the neon gear. And luckily, I can use the vector tools to do this. Now we'll just start laying things out, laying things in place. In order to get the similar feel of what's presented in the anime, I do know that I'm going to have to use not only the cog vector tool, but I'm going to need to use the donut one as well. And of course, each one is going to have a glow outline. I'm going to be going with a mixture of probably the cyan glow outline and also the, I guess, pink, hot pink I decided to go with as well. Now I'm just choosing not only the color but the size of the glow. Alright, I'm realizing that 10 points seems okay. I'll have to see it with other things. There we go. got that blue color that I wanted. Alright, so probably have to choose the next vector tool, which is the donut I've discovered works out best. I'm going to get roughly to the same size. Of course, I should move it over a lot sooner in order to judge on sizing, but oh well. So we got the gear in the outline, glow outline in cyan. I think the inner part where the donut is, we're going to, I think, do a hot pink. 15 points seems about right. We'll go 30 to really have it stand out. And let's move to a hot pink. There we go. Though against the dark blue it looks more like a purple, which actually suits the character a bit better. There you go. I'm adding in an inner glow just to make the lines a bit more prominent. And of course, the inner glow I'm going to have slightly lighter. There. We'll group those two together. And then we'll place them around the screen where the different gears are. Now this is just the first trial run. So I have the actual full dimensions at 6,000 pixels wide and 3,000 pixels tall. Now, you're going to see my mistake later, but I did my research and realized if I want a 360 view or panoramic view, I need my size to essentially be 2:1. So the width is 2 times larger than the height. Now just laying out the gears in the different spots that I see on the actual screen capture. There. Okay, that's all set. Now I want to create a boombox. So we're going to use some rectangles, trapezoid, and circles in order to create the not a boombox, but the tall speakers that we actually see in the screen cap. And I'm going to again use a gradient in order to provide a bit of dimension. Now every speaker has these circle sections in order to allow the sound to reverb back. And what's great about using a gradient, it definitely gives a bit more dimension. Okay, and of course the donut. Sorry about the noise. Apparently the household has decided to move when I'm recording. There we go. That gives a real good dimension to the actual speakers. And by adding the glow outline, it really makes it a neon feel. Now I'm just grouping all the parts together. I've got the front face, but I realized I do need the side bit in order to make it appear a bit 3D. So I'm going to have to, once I position this in place at the right size, I will get a trapezoid and create the side portion. But right now I'm just fitting the front. Okay, let's grab the trapezoid. At first I thought I could use the rectangle tool, but no, trapezoid works best in creating that three-dimensional feel. So I just need to turn it onto its side. That way I can get that three-dimensional effect and play around with the depth of it. There we go. That looks about right. I'm just going through. Oops, looks like I accidentally did another one. What I wanted to do was create a duplicate of the gear and add some more gears throughout the scene that I was seeing. So we'll just duplicate a few more, get them in place. I mean, this is turning out pretty nice. Now, in order to make it look like a seamless scene, I'm going to have one gear right on the edge on either side, and it has to be on the exact same level. Now, I thought I had it correct, but when we go to test it, you'll see that I didn't exactly have it correct. And unfortunately, I decided, after making the scene, that I wanted to get rid of the project. Big mistake on that one. Okay, so I'm realizing I'm wanting some grid in behind, because I'm seeing these lines in behind the gears, and I figured I'll just use my grid pattern and we'll pull it in behind the gears. And when it's wrapped up on the top, it'll form a circular that'll cause all the lines to go inwards. Kind of like what we were seeing on the actual, what would be the canopy of the stage. I thought that might be interesting. Yeah, this round I am doing it as close as possible to the original stage design that was done. But I think after testing it, I realized I didn't want to go that close to the original stage design. Especially when presenting it in Doll Dancer. But I'll just pull some elements from it. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. I'm just trying to calm my breathing down so that I can actually talk. Okay. So I'm just zooming in and out in order to make sure that I've got it correct. Now, unfortunately, my screen recording of the actual process decided to cut out, so I had to start the screen recording again. So we're into the next part, and I'm adding in the audience. I decided that I'm just going to reuse this screen cap that I took and take out the audience. This will be good just to test things out. That, and I didn't feel like making all those little people. I think when I make another stage that I will actually put in the effort and make an audience. But this time I just wanted to try things out. Especially since it was only the first time that I was making an actual stage. So I just wanted to test things out. So here I'm just masking off the areas that I don't want to be seen. So we're trying to get some dimension and of course get all the heads of the different members of the audience. Now I think later I will actually develop basically a audience piece that I can drop into place with all my other pieces that I've created for my artwork. But this is just a test. I wanted to make sure that I got things essentially correct. So we'll get the audience wrapped around the stage. And then we'll need the edge of the stage as well in this skybox wrap. Oh, I definitely like using the masking tool. It makes it a lot easier in doing that. Of course, I'll have to try and make sure that it is seamless all the way around. I thought just taking this one screen cap, I could get it seamless. Yeah, that was not really the case. No, I couldn't really... yeah. I was trying to be lazy in this first round. Now that I know what I needed to do, I'll definitely make a better job of the next stage that I produce. And of course, it'll have to tie in to the actual song and dance that I'll be choosing as my next one. That and some costume change as well. But that's for future episode, where we do an entire look instead of just the stage and such. So I'm just quickly masking off what I need right now. And let's see. Not too much further on what I need to do, at least on this first pass. Okay, slowly bring it in. And since it's just a variegated color, I couldn't really use the magic wand tool. I would have loved to. That would have made things a lot easier. Okay, so from the basic perspective, that looks okay. And I took the screen cap, I duplicated and mirrored it, so I thought that would be okay. Yeah, that I'm realizing now that I needed to do a different way of doing things. Now here I'm trying to do the stage. I thought I could use the trapezoid in order to do it. Basically to cover up a section of the audience so that it could fold around the actual performer. Yeah, that I realized my mistake on that. So I thought a circle might work. And then I started thinking, okay, I realized a circle when wrapped around wouldn't look quite right. But I thought I'd first give it a try because I wanted to see how the stage will look with the audience. And I'm thinking, pulling out the colors and such. Thought I'd put a gradient in order to add the spotlight on the actual dancing character, but I realize this portion is actually going to be underneath the physical stage that she's going to be standing upon, so it actually wasn't needed at all. I mean, when you turn the camera around on the character, you might be able to see underneath the stage. So I guess it's somewhat useful, but not really. I finally decided to go with a rectangle after I played a little bit more with the actual audience. I want to get this seamless, so I'm trying to get the edge just right. And yeah, some of the audience members are going to get covered up, but that's okay. Try not to cover up too much. And I do want a row of spotlights like what I saw in the original screen capture. So we'll need another rectangle in order to get that bounding edge. At least right here I remembered that this thing is going to be wrapping around. So here we go. We're going to get that edge in. Let's change the color. That seems okay. If I want actual spotlights, I need it darker. And of course, this is going to be edged in a glow. And I think we'll go with the neon pink, tie in with the background, since we got so much blue going on. Yeah, change so that we have essentially strip lighting along the outside edge. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'll need some spotlights, so circles is what I'm going to need. let's, yeah, there we go. Just checking out a few things. Oh, that's right. I decided that I wanted to use sparkles. So I did a second layer of that rectangle strip, and now I'm going to fill it in with my sparkles in order to, or what I call my tri-star pattern. This is definitely a lot easier than trying to draw individual circles for spotlights. And it still has the colors that ties in with the rest of the stage that's built. So I'm just trying to set it up just right. So look, now to let you know what's on the edge of the frame, that's what's actually going to wrap around and be in front of the character when it's dancing. So that's why I need to make sure that the actual edges are perfect, because when you pan the camera around to the back side of the character, you are actually going to see that line. And if it's doesn't appear seamless, the edge lines are going to be very obvious. Okay, just playing around with the background a bit more, because it just wasn't seeming right. That's definitely looking lighter. But that grid is now looking way too dark. And I want the orange of the grid to actually show up. But not too much. I think I decided that lighter color was probably the better option. So the actual blue of the grid portion would fade away, come transparent. But I had to check all the options first in order to see what I really liked. Luminosity wasn't bad. But I had to check everything just to find the right combination for what I wanted. And I definitely ended up with lighter color as the blending mode. Yeah, darker color definitely did not work. I had to zoom in order to make sure. Did I stick with lighten? I guess for the first pass I probably did. I had to sit with it just a bit. Alright, going through the different layers, checking things out. I wanted to make sure things were where I wanted them. Yeah, I was even checking a possible blending mode on that strip. That's adjusting the square portion that formed the stage. That's what I realized. This portion is actually going to be underneath the dancing stage, so it wouldn't be seen at all anyway. So might as well just make it black. Okay. Time to save and test it out. So this is just the first test. Alright, Showtime stage. Well, it wasn't until later that I actually decided to name it the Neon Gear stage. Okay. So now to make the repeat pattern that she's going to be dancing on. Luckily, you can use different tiles in order to form a pattern on the stage. So we're going to create this metal pattern that I often see actually in truck beds and such. So it's kind of these metal ovals. So we're just going to pull the circle and make it into an oval. And then we're going to use one of my favorite effects, which is a metallized one. Alright, choose the metal. And we're going to have to create a line of these. Duplicate the line and then mirror the line so that we get different directions on it. So I'm just making up the first line, and then will later realize that I'm going to have to make this a seamless pattern, so I'm going to need one of these discs actually on the edge of the actual pattern so that it can become seamless. So here I'm doing the centering of everything. I'm trying to remember what the actual dimensions were for this, because remember the stage itself was different dimensions, but also it had to be a repeat pattern.
Hello? Yes?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
During this portion, received a call. That's why I stopped during that portion. I really should have taken that sound out. Oh well.
Yeah. As long as there's...
I didn't realize that it actually recorded. Good to know. I will make that change in the future.
Okay. Alright.
I didn't believe that. I actually recorded my call. Ooh. So, other times that I took a call during streams, it actually broadcasted.
Yeah.
Okay. Note for the future.
I'm okay with just the two.
Since I'm doing these pre-recordings now, I will definitely take out the sound. Okay. So.
Hold.
Yeah, that was
whole
my
grain bread?
grocery order that was going on, so. Yeah, I'm still continuing on with the actual
yeah.
Yeah, continuing on with the trying to create the repeat pattern. So I've placed the group on the edge, and then I'll make a duplicate.
What halfway point is.
Put it on to the other edge, and then just tweak the.
Okay, so 600 pixels. Okay.
Discs so that they space out nice and neatly. I guess I decide to do the second row as the one that goes on the edge. Oh well, I guess that's what I needed to do. Always trying to figure out the best way to do things was a bit hard for me. I mean, it took me so long just to try and figure out how I could do this skybox wrap. Turns out it was a lot simpler than I planned, but there we go. Getting things onto the edge. Of course, I had to be reminded of what the actual dimensions were. Alright, now to start spacing things out. Oh, I did a third one. Now looking back on the footage, I'm realizing I didn't have to do it this way. I could have just taken the ones that ended up off the edge of the pattern and bring them into the center. Oh well. Here's me trying to space things out better.
It's not working.
And we'll try again. Yeah. Let's change up the size. First round wasn't working. So, first round. Yeah, let's say it. I keep trying until I get things the way I want them. Eventually I will get it set up correctly. Alright. It actually turned out pretty good once I was finished building. And just adjust the spacing of things just a bit. There we go. That looks better. And now I have the start of a seamless pattern. Okay, now I should group these two together. That way I can bring them down a level, mirror it, and of course adjust the position. There we go. That's all grouped. Time to build the next layer. Okay, bring this down. Come on. I think I got distracted at that point. There we go. Mirrored. Time to alternate it. There we go. That looks good. Now we'll just duplicate the top one, bring it down. And of course, make it nice and centered. Okay, middle row, duplicate it, bring it down. Oh, I want this right on the edge, so we're going to have to do some adjusting here, I see. Yeah, just a little bit of adjusting. Okay. Of course, making sure that it's still centered, these rows. Because I have a tendency to get things a little off-centered. And if I want it seamless, yeah, that's not going to work in this case. Recenter it. There we go. Now to bring this back up, I want this all to fit within the square. That way when I go to actually put it as a floor tile in the actual Doll Dancer app, it will be seamless. Now, I should be getting close to the point where I save and then test things out. Now, granted, doing things for the first time, it does always take longer. So we're just going to save this pattern base. And eventually, I'm going to have to bring it into my photos in order for the Doll Dancer app to use it. Same with the background that I built. Here I'm just trying to decide what to name it. I think I named it Metal Plate. Yeah. That seemed about right, but I don't know what that actual pattern is called. And of course, save it in my patterns so that I can find them again. Okay, now we're switching over to the Doll Dancer app, where we can test everything out. This is a great program. You can actually download your models from VRoy Studio, or not from VRoy Studio, but VRoy Hub. Right now, I am testing the background pattern that I made. And I'm realizing right at this moment that I don't have it in my actual photos, of which this program has access to. So I'm going to have to exit out, go into my files, save it to my photos. First I gotta find it. Where did I place it? There it is. Okay, let's save this. And probably at the same point, I'm going to save the floor tile as well. I just have to find it. Okay, patterns. Graphic. Okay, let's find that floor tile. Where is it? Where is it? Why can't I find it? Might take some time to actually save it. Either that, or I am totally bypassing it. Yep, I am not. Yeah, I'm totally bypassing it each time. Oh well, I just need something to test, so let's grab another one of these patterns. Which one? Which one do I feel like testing out?
Didn't save where I wanted. Oh, well, okay.
So many good patterns, and yeah, let's go with this one that I named imprisonment. We'll just save that. Any others I want to try? Yeah. Grid and stars. That should work well with the background. Okay, let's bring up the Doll Dancer app again and see if I can actually test things out.
I did not save where I thought it was.
Alright.
Let's go back here.
So, go back into Skybox. Click on the actual image and load. Okay, let's find my background. Okay, my background's in place. Now we need to change the floor. So, hit the X button. Okay, let's go to the ground. Click on the image. Load up a new image. And turns out my tiles did not load to my... This is where I'm wondering, where did my floor tiles that I made go? I know I saved them. Oh well.
Okay.
We'll just go back and save them again. This is where I'm starting to realize that I had to do a lot more maintenance on my iPad and my computer system, because things just were not saving to my photos for some reason.
Again, it didn't save.
Oh well.
I wanted that repeat pattern.
I decided,
Not saving.
We'll try again. I think it's about the third time that I realized that I was not going to get anywhere without doing maintenance. Try as I might. So go back, save those two poor photos again. Try and see if there was another option for me to save, but no. Okay, so I do know that I did save them. Now, go back into or go back into photos, double check everything, see if they actually loaded. And no, they did not load. Yeah. I got the picture fine in there, but for some reason the floor tiles did not want to load. That's definitely the point where it sunk in that some maintenance had to be done.
I've got to find out why I cannot save.
So I think I was so focused on trying to get everything in that I didn't realize that, or didn't want to admit that I needed to get some maintenance done. I kept trying. You get so focused in on one thing that you can't see anything else.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to...
But I decided, okay, we'll just choose what they have.
Suffice.
And main portion was just to actually check to see how well I did the skybox. I'm realizing I can't see the audience.
Not when I'm
Where's
struggling.
the audience?
4.
I mean, I saw the gap,
So now I know.
or the misaligned pieces that were on the edge. Okay, we're going to change the size of the actual floor for this test, because I wanted to actually see the audience, and there we go. I can actually see the audience. And yeah, that's not going to be good enough. What? Or I thought maybe I can make this work. I mean, I've now got the audience somewhat visible. But we're going to need to test things out.
Now I know that I need to bring those up.
I mean, the audience is there, so.
It's something a little bit square.
Yeah, I'm going to have to change things up. Okay. Yeah, I keep zooming around, just checking everything out. Okay, we've brought in my character. We've got to load up the movement to my showtime as well as the music. And now let's do a little bit of a dance. Test things out. And it was after this I realized, no, that didn't work. So, I'm just showing you the redesigns. I've now got the gears on the actual end that will appear in front of the dancer. Now at exactly the same level. I'm just slowly building everything back up. Got the audience in place. I resized this to the same dimensions as an iPad screen. Shrunk everything down so that it appears as a strip. But I'm just zooming in to the edge, and you'll see why I did this. Okay, there's the part in front of the dancer. The rest of it looks right. As you can see, I got access to the floor tiles again, the one that I created. So everything now is at the correct level, but that join right in front of the dancer, I still did not get that right. I did not clean things up correctly. The rest of the sky looks fine, but I did not get that cleanup just right, so go back in. I've now moved, taken the audience portion, duplicated it, and then put it onto either side. So what would have been in front of the dancer is now in behind. So we've now developed a seamless pattern. And now to test things out again. So building this stage took me about 3 tests just to make sure that everything is running correctly. Okay, look in front of our figure here, and it now looks seamless. So there we go. The stage actually looks just right. Yeah, gotta check the portion just above the character, because you never know where the camera is going to swoop to. And now onto the dance test. Now if you want to see the full version of this, you can go on to my second channel, which is Unbordered Idol, in order to see the entire performance. And there we have it. That is the entire dance test. So yeah, head on over to Unbordered Idol. Check out the entire dancing. I called it Dancing on a New Stage. And it was actually liked by one of the developers of the Doll Dancer app. So, I hope you enjoyed this little process video of developing a new stage for the Doll Dancer app to showcase my avatar and dancing. Until our next episode, which will be next week, because I'll have a new schedule now. So, we'll be running weekly on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, see ya!